Hello to all my fellow viewers of the Aaron's Ales channel from the United Kingdom and around the world. Another demonstrative pour and review on a perfect draft kegged beer. This week's perfect draft keg comes from a Cornish-based brewery, and it is from St. Austell's Brewery. You would have seen this served on cask in your local pub as a guest ale, including by the bottle in supermarkets, but has more recently added to the collection of perfect draft kegged beer items of IPAs. My fellow viewers, you have guessed it right, yes you have. It is that ever popular Proper Job IPA 4.5%. This ale is served in my local pub, the Ancient Britain, from time to time as a guest ale, and whenever that is on, I often tend to go for that selection to drink, and is my go-to, but is also quite a popular cask-conditioned guest ale whenever it's on in there. So, here we go. I've even got the glassware. Look at that. A beautiful glass. So as always, before you pour your first one, always pour a little bit out first, just to wet the glass and to stop your pint from being too lively. And then straight with the pour, tilt your glass just like you do in a pub at a 45-degree angle, handle straight down. While this ale is settling, I'll tell you a bit about the brewery itself and the other ales I have tried from this brewery. The other ale I have tried on this brewery, which unfortunately is not on perfect draft, but it is served also on cask and by bottle in pubs, bars and in supermarkets, but is also a firm favourite of my grandfather's, and that is Tribute. And that ale is also from time to time served as a cask-conditioned guest ale in my local pub, the Ancient Britain. But to me, that beer is appropriate enough to drink during the autumn and winter period. And as I've just said, is unfortunately not on perfect draft, but I'm sure one day the brewery in St. Austell will consider doing one for the perfect draft range. I'm just going to top my beer up a slight bit more, just to get a bit of a head on it. I must say though, that's a lovely spot on around 2 finger head, just how a real ale should look like, or any other beer you have served, both on cask or on draft in a pub or bar, including when you're serving it out of your very own perfect draft machine. A nice, lovely, creamy, foamy head retention, and a lovely, lovely colour, almost golden pale colour. So let's get the aromas. Slightly bitter, very pine, incredibly hoppy. So here we go, taste test now. Cheers, as we say in Wales, iechyd da, good health. Absolutely incredible. So very refreshing, served from perfect draft. And just like being served in a pub, you have got lots of lovely rims of lacing around the rims of the glass. Very, very nice. Looks like I've done an excellent pour. To my taste, again, like the beginning of the aroma, it's quite bitter for the taste to my taste buds, but very hoppy, very, very hoppy. I can definitely try slight hints of citrus fruits in this. You can definitely get a feel of the hop varieties out of this beer, from Cascade to Styrian hops, from what I'm tasting in my taste buds. Now we come to the part where I think what pairs nicely in terms of food options to go with this pale ale. As it's so incredibly refreshing out of my perfect draft machine, and as it's a beer before that I've had as a pale ale that is suitable enough to drink on a hot summer's day, being at the summer months like this time of year, in my opinion, this would pair very nicely with some very nice style of sausages, such as a butcher style version of leek and pork sausages. With the amount of taste buds I get from this ale, it definitely sounds like it will blend very well and very nicely with pork and leek sausages. You don't have to get pork and leek sausages from a butcher's mind. You can get pork and leek sausages from your local supermarket, such as Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Aldi's, Lidl's, or whatever other supermarket chain you've got in your local areas. But this ale definitely will pair very nicely with that style of sausage. But it would also go very nicely, I think, too, with pork chops, especially marinated ones, with all the amount of different flavours, along with a nice pasta and potato, a nice side salad on the side. Very, very nice and refreshing. We now come to the final part. I am going to give this IPA a very well earned 10 out of 10 from Aaron's Ales. This is the best I've had so far on my perfect draft machine, I think. Thank you for watching. Please tune in again to my next video very soon. Take care. Bye for now. Hwyl fawr.